How's it going, Hexen? Gotta keep it going, Hexen. Version 1.1. You know, I really like this loading screen thing, where you load the vertebrae. Don't think I've mentioned that before. I'm gonna lose more of my excitement now. I'm gonna get myself wasted in this land. The wasteland. You don't have to go this way. Because that's nonsense. Take the shortcut back. Instead of going through that bullshit again. It's really doing you a favor, isn't it? Alright, I killed him through the wall. Let all these villains crawl. Oh, cease, etc. Oh yes, today I was doing some more stuff into Wii modding. I actually have an old Wii here. We got two, but one got one has survived a fire, and I made it work. I've dubbed it the Franken Wii. Anyway, it's the point is I've been modding Wii. There's people that made mods of Wii games. They can actually run through your Wii or otherwise, and perhaps you may have seen some of my old stuff in which I did a lot of Mario Kart, and I found out that the most of any mod next to, say, New Super Mario Bros. Wii is Mario Kart Wii. So Mario Kart Wii content's kind of way more engaged than Super Mario Kart content, just because of the, graphical design and whatnot. But yeah, unfortunately, making the patch just happen is a totally different issue, which I'll have to figure out my own somehow. Although it might work out, I don't know. Actually, you know what? Oh, maybe if I run the patcher through wine. You know what? I'm gonna try that later. It just wasn't too important. I was just trying it just to try it. I was trying to do it through their bash script. I'm just like, okay, this will work, maybe. And it was looking for libpng 14, I think. And I have libpng 16. So I tried to redirect the library, but to no avail, it just said, oh, there ain't no libpng 14 stuff in libpng 16. I just thought, since it was better, it could just override some of the stuff I was looking for. But no, it's pretty damn specific for something that probably should have been updated a while ago. But then again, when that mod was made, it was what, 2011, 2012? So I don't blame them for that, for not knowing how code changes over time, over 10 years. So I'll find a way to make it work. Assuming people want to see that. I think you do. I think you do. Forget Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart Wii, my dude. Let's go to the Wasteland now. I've had my back in the lobby hub discussion. I like the Wasteland. Make sure if you're using a source port, unlike a certain civvy, in which you can actually get get the wooden stakes to work and not break your game. Also look out for the wooden stakes. You can always see where they're going to be on the ground. In fact, I don't think I've ever gotten hurt by one. Maybe once. But I don't know. I just naturally avoid them. I don't think it's going to be much of an issue. Just kind of pretend that the obstacle is always there so you're never running through it if you don't have to. And really you don't. Especially out in open areas like this. That hammer is the MVP right now. It is doing a number on the badasses that think they're so bad with their asses that are also bad. Alright, we'll be doing the most here. So the goal of this video is I'll be getting the horn key, and then I'll open the swamp door and the cave door. It doesn't really matter what order you do it. I just decided I would do it in that order. So yeah, sorting for that must have been a hell. Yeah, it's not even enough that I had to play my right. I had to actually test out every freaking part of the game to decide which way was best, or which ways could be done that seemed palatable to my gameplay choices. Oh no. It seems weird that a swamp would be next to a cave next to a wasteland. But here we are at the Shadow Wood, where every possible human biome is possible. In the world of, I forget. I do remember Hexen 2's world is called Tyrion. I forgot what Hexen world is called. Oops. You probably know. Why are you playing this for plot anyway, you silly person? I'm playing this because it's awesome. If I'm playing for plot, it's probably an RPG. Or a point-and-click adventure like True that. Even better, would you play a puzzle game for the plot? Because I think I have a couple times. No, really. That door opens from the other side. Forget about it. We'll deal with it. And then we will deal with it soon. Lot of stuff to consider in my considerable world. In the next video, we'll use these two keys I picked up. So both. We'll be using the Horn Cave keys in the swamp area, and we'll use the Horn key on the cave area. And that'll all be one video. It also in combination with the secret level, because it's actually pretty short. So I'll just do that all up. By the way, the times of the videos aren't always going to be like 30 minutes like this. I just worked out that way because Shadowwood is a particularly big hub. I'd say Hub 3 is pretty big also. I don't know how big... No, wait, I don't think Hub 3 is that big. It's just that there's a lot of little challenges in Hub 3. Hub 4 is pretty big. Hub 4 is kind of cool. I'd say Hub 4 is the most, I guess... Like, I don't consider this game mentally challenging, but if I had to consider which was the most mentally challenging, it's probably the 4th hub. Cause you kinda have to know where to go. I guess maybe you could say that Hub 3? I don't know. Someone want to rate the difficulty on these hubs? That's kind of a tough sell, my dude. My dudes, no! Dun, dun, dun. I really like how the castle key is just a skeleton head with a crown on it. That's pretty good. Too bad it's only used in that one area, though. It's like... Maybe in... Yeah, oh, that'll be fun. I think in Death Kings of the Dark Citadel, you're going to see all these keys again and be like, what's going on? Yeah. I'm kind of excited to do that, though. Although, I still largely prefer playing Doom, or actually, I largely prefer playing Duke Nukem 3D. And definitely Heretic. But, you know, Hexen is, while not exactly the perfect game, is a great game, and it's in my wheelhouse. I've been hearing the word wheelhouse a lot lately, so I have to say wheelhouse instead of roadhouse. Careful here. Anyway, that's the Porculator. If you remember the Morphous Ovum in Heretic, this is that, but instead of turning them into chickens, you're turning them into pigs. Pigs! I don't know, Raven has a sense of humor, or it's id. One of them. Anyway, if you recall, in an earlier video, I mentioned something about, hey, how am I going to fit under there? Well, you know how these shield guys reflect your projectiles? So, what do you think would happen if you shot him with the Porculator, You turn yourself into a pig. So then you'd be able to get under there. It's also a reason why I've played 1.1 instead of 1.0, because you can kind of cheese part of the game that way. So when level designers called on, it's like, oh, wait, let's block that off. We weren't thinking about that, because it's not like something you're going to think to do with the Porculator. I mean, it's kind of an extra-ass item, isn't it? So I guess the Porculator and the Dark Servant are just kind of gimmicky, but hey, you know, whatever tool you want to use at that time. I mean, maybe if there's enough of them, but I guess having too many Porculators would be kind of broken. I mean, you're instantly turning an enemy into pigs. So, you tell me. As you might imagine, I'm going to use the Swamp Key here. Well, after I get the Horn Key, if I didn't already. If I did, then that's where I'm going to go. Da 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 da. Don't you want me, baby? Don't you want me? Oh 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 oh. Hey, sorry, I love 80s British electronica. You'll have to excuse me. Or don't excuse me. You know, Rick Astley, that's 80s British electronica. So there. Yeah. You know what the best part is? Rick Astley is going to live for like decades more still. He's like Taco. He's just going to live a while. Taco's amazing, by the way, if you've ever listened to Taco. He does I think he's from the Netherlands, and he does renditions of very old-timey songs in a... Well, at the time it was a modern context, but now they just all sound like they're from the 80s, and that's okay. And he's really good at it. Like, I wouldn't say he's innovative, but he's really good at what he does, so... You know, we'll just leave him to that. Sometimes it's all in the performance and not in the composition. But having original compositions, I think maybe he has had a few, so... Yeah. Thanks, Taco, for being a taco. Taco Tuesday, where you have to listen to tacos all night long. If you hear the sound of a taco in the shadow wood, can you hear its meat? Dun, dun, dun. There's a big old area in there that I'm not going to reach until I open the swamp door. Is it that what opens when I open the swamp door? Well, that area is going to open whether it wants to or not. I'll tell you that much. Slam your two heads in with my hammer resin. Hammer resin, baby. Stop the presses. No's or yeses. Take some guesses, baby. Hey, baby! I was just thinking to myself, what happens if I actually get tired of talking? I don't mean like any physically tired talking away, where I'm just like, I just want to play the game instead of talking over. Well, I'll tell you, that would mean I have given up, and you should consider me washed up right now, because that is not stopping. The only bad thing about it is it's taking more time than I would have liked. Like double time. But I already do enough time in making the preparation for doing the playthrough anyway, so why not just add that nice little layer of speech? Also, you don't even have to hear me talk. You can just watch us muted and enjoy, I guess. It would be cool. Like, this is something I've always wanted from YouTube, and it is to have alternate commentary tracks. You know? I mean, you can do that with subtitles, for sure. But yeah, I would like it if it was possible with an alternate commentary track. We could have both my commentary and not, but I guess that was never meant to be. I guess some things are never meant to be heard. Just like if you thought you were going to hear all the music of this game, it would instead be like, well, I mean, you're not actually looking at all the game, so why would you be hearing all of the game also? You wouldn't be. So that's how I justify it. Not to mention, since I'm not doing these things in marathons anymore, like I used to. That was crazy. Why'd I ever convince myself to do video games, like, all in one shot? That was a bad suggestion from the get-go. I was like, I'll do a long play. Literally long. No. Can't be doing that. Especially since some games don't even fit that format, like this one. I mean, technically, yes. But also, I wouldn't do it that way. For this. Regardless. Not even one of the reasons why I shied away from this game for a while. And then I start playing, and I'm like, hey, this is a pretty good... I don't know what the complaints are. Well, I kind of know what the complaints are all about. But with a lot of complaints about video games, I get over most of them. Unless you're one of those Kaizo developers, in which case I secretly hate you. If I have to use speedrunner tricks to get past your game, I don't know if this is a game anymore or a torture chamber. Oh, he's right behind you. He's going to stalk you. Oh no. And if there's a gang of them, they can be gang stalkers. Oh my dear Jesus. That's the last place I'm expecting, like, lurkers. It's like, why is there slime in the wasteland? What the fuck's that about? Why is there lava in the wasteland? What is this place? We just put lava, have that. I mean, okay, let's be real. By the way, I got the horn key. Let's be real. If you played Heretic, we put fire and ice next to each other like it was no big thing. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised by environmental dissonance, where no climates make sense, and the ecosystem is bitchin' and cool. Again, despite all these stakes, or as Super Mario World fans like to call them, pencils, it seems as though they never hit me. I think there's exactly one instance in the entire game where they could have, and I'm not sure if they did. But that had a lot to do with how they were used then. In a different way. In a very different way. Dun, Da-da. Well, we got the horn key. Let us go to the swamp door. You like how that door opens like a turnstile? I do too. Don't you hit the Ifrit with your axe and hit him harder than his face. His face would like to skip a loo. In lieu of lose. In lieu of Lou Gehrig's disease, you should not be forming athletics anymore. I need some more talk. So, I've learned that on Star Trek Lower Decks that they did an episode that deals with the follow-up of. Since I watch A Cursed Farms, he did this like thing about the implications of that episode about this drug economy between two planets, where one is the supplier and one is like, you know, the junkie planet. And so this show talks about the aftermath of such a thing, which is weird. It's weird because I don't know if that's how the writers would have resolved it, or if they meant to resolve it. But this was back in like, this is either season 1 or season 2, I believe. And early Next Gen was a lot like original series, in which it was more anthological and not really too focused on continuity, more or less. So it almost wasn't really that important. Really, it wasn't until stuff like DS9 and subsequently Babylon 9 that continuity in television shows got really popular. Probably why DS9's Herald is pretty freaking awesome, I'll have you know. I will never stop singing praises for DS9. It didn't exactly explore new worlds, but it didn't have to. It was like the inverse. All the worlds were exploring us instead. That kind of made it better. I would have liked it if it was a little more slice of life after the first few seasons. But it's fine. Character arcs are bitchin' too, so that was good. You get a wide variety of types. Even like the implications of like how their cultures being so different could be considered one-trick ponies, but it wasn't so much that the one-trick ponies, but how they came to be said one-trick ponies. That had nothing to do with their species. It more had to do with like, well, their history rather. Basically, their own sense of nationalism screwed with the way they acted or thought. And it's just very different for each species you run into. Or anyone from any country. It's like, oh, it's the only concept of what aliens would be like, is just comparing to other countries. It's like, what else are you gonna do? And now if you want to go back to the swamp, well, that's your damn business. How will they find new stuff to talk about now? Well, I mean, it's October. I want to do more Hexen stuff beforehand, but hey, it's here. But, you know, I've been watching spooky stuff sometimes. And I don't actually really stop watching spooky stuff just because it's not October. Like, I don't go on my way for horror films, necessarily. Like, there are a dime a dozen in which, you know, if I decide I want to be into it, I'll be into it. But I never really get tired of the Halloween aesthetic. I guess that kind of makes me goth? Probably. But I'm more accurately industrial, if you want to ask. Someone did pin me correctly as having a mindset very compatible with that. But I couldn't quite explain to you why this person pinned me this way, because it's not like I was like dressing or appearing that way. So maybe clicks are more of the mindset than a sense of belonging. That would be nice. Maybe in another life I was a warlock. Have you seen the other door? Hello? I'm looking for the door. Oh. Oh, okay. So... alright. The cave door teleports you here! Haha! Remember that area of the map that looked locked off? Well, this is how you get to it. This is a very city... it's a very city place. There we go. Now we can get up the magical magic stairs. You thought I was going to need Lens of Truth or Secret Agent sunglasses or something. Not anymore. I believe there's some serpents up here. Die, serpents, and repent. I mean, rippin. So, rippin. I mean, serpents. Alright, another sixth of my pizza puzzle pie. Ha 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 ha.
Actually, your pizza should be pretty small if you're gonna do the 6-piecer. Otherwise, those pieces are pretty big and wide. Pizzas should be a little discredited in my mind, only when they don't have enough protein. So, I purposely get meat lovers pizzas. Yeah, I'm sorry, those are eating because they don't want to eat animals. But, you know, it's not really plausible for me to not have the nutrients from eating meat. Also, more accurately, maybe you don't notice, but plants are also alive, so, you know, if you really want to try it, you'll have to figure out how to eat like a plant does. Through photosynthesis. So basically you're absorbing the sun. How does that explain all the different kinds of vitamins one can have, though? Well, that's a question now, isn't it? Something something atoms and molecules, something something random factors. Something something meaning of life. You got to move your body freely. Combine that matter into a single place. Looks like that is totally it for the wasteland. Next video, I'm going to finish this all up before going to the final area of the hub. Whew!